What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to No Filter Chels. Sorry for not uploading the past couple days. Had some stuff I had to take care of at the doctor. Just making sure my health is in check, making sure I'm good. I'm in the clear. I'm good. Just need to make sure I'm taking a lot better care of myself going forward. In today's video, we're going to be getting into the Antoine Semanyo. I can't really call it a saga, but the transfer from Bournemouth, and it looks like he's going to be set to go to Manchester City. Um, we're, we're going to be tackling that, Chelsea's angle in it, how they were in for him, and now they pulled out because he's going to be set to go to Man City and not really having the most belief in the Chelsea project or not even being interested. And seeing the viral clip of him wearing the Chelsea jersey talking about how his one of his idols is Drogba. The one thing that I'm going to get into this video is how we need to stop looking at when players wear a certain jersey, how everybody just automatically assumes they're going to sign for that club. So, with that being said, if you like these kind of videos, if you like talking about sports, soccer, current events, like the video, sub, bell notifications, turn those on. I'm going to be uploading as frequent as I can, given what my schedule is going to be like going forward. And without further ado, we are going to tackle, is this a good move for Manchester City? So, waking up this morning and seeing the news that Chelsea were in the mix to sign Antoine Semenyo from Bournemouth for the release clause of 65 million pounds. That is a bargain fee for a player of his quality, a Ghanaian international, 32 caps for Ghana. I believe he's actually at the Africa Cup of Nations right now, which is a great tournament that I think everybody should be paying attention to, because African football, I believe, is a gem of a continent where you find a lot of superstar players that don't get as much recognition and a lot of exposure. Watching that tournament, you guys are going to be able to see probably the next two or three great African stars that come out of there, and the current African stars that are currently competing in that tournament. But to circle back to Antoine Semenyo and Chelsea, did we actually need to go after a player like that? No, we have an abundance and a treasure trove of attacking players that we have now. Are all of them gems? No. Jamie Gittins isn't a gem. Garnacho is somewhere in between where he has two or three good games in a row. He's direct, dynamic, incisive, wants to be on the front foot, and then there's games where he's not even in the game. You have Esteval, which you know he's not going to lose his spot in the squad anytime soon with the amount of investment we put into him and the belief we have in a kid like that, a future Ballon d'Or winner, in my opinion. Not somebody like an Antoine Semenyo coming in who is a maverick, who is a physical player, who is a specimen and has the pace, has the trickery, has a good shot on him, underrated passer as well, is not somebody that I think that if we were to sign him would go over well with the current squad, because there's just too many attacking players that we have right now to where I don't think he needs to be. Now, would he be a great fit into the squad if we didn't have a Garnacho or a Gittins? I would say you should absolutely go after him. But I think one of his thoughts on why he didn't want to come to us was because where are the minutes going to come from his point of view? Are Chelsea in a position to win trophies? Because one of the things that he wants to do is win trophies on a consistent basis. Now, Man City last year didn't win a trophy, but they're generally always going to be in the mix to win some type of silverware. So, seeing why he wants to go there, seeing why he wants to play under Pep, whether it's his last season or he stays an extended year to finish out his contract, because I can't see Pep Guardiola just walking away without winning something. If it's this season, if it's a domestic cup, if he is in the title race against Arsenal, Aston Villa, as it seems right now, in the Champions League, whether he goes after that, I just don't see a world where Pep Guardiola walks away without winning another trophy. So Antoine Semenyo, playing for Bournemouth right now, who are, I believe, 11th or 12th in the Premier League right now, you know, he's not trying to be stuck in mid-table mediocrity. And he is the obvious standout player there. You turn on a Bournemouth game to watch him. Yes, they have a Patrick Kluivert. Yes, they have Evan Nielsen. Yes, they have Tavernier, but you're not turning on the game to watch that. As an American, I want to see what Tyler Adams is doing, but he's out for 3 or 4 months. When I watch a Bournemouth game, I'm looking for where is 24 at? What when he gets the ball, what is he going to do with it? Because when he receives the ball, you know something is going to happen with it. There's aura about these kind of players, and he's able to play on both wings, which is a plus for a Manchester City style system where it doesn't matter which wingers are out there. Hold the width, be tricky, be direct, be dynamic, and be able to draw fouls, be able to get your shots off and create opportunities for an Erling Haaland, which now with him set to go there, Erling Haaland just has another outlet of service coming his direction. And it would not surprise me now if Erling Haaland breaks his own Premier League record in terms of goals scored in a season and just continues to show why he may end up being the greatest Premier League striker that we have ever seen. And he's only been in the Premier League for 3 or 4 seasons, and he's already breaking down doors. Could you imagine adding an Antoine Semanyo to that with his incisiveness, with his imagination, and the ability to get balls in the box for an Erling Haaland? Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to break down at Manchester City and stop them from scoring 2 or 3 goals a game. But on the other side of it, we can play, we can also do a thing where what if he doesn't get it going at Man City? Is that too big of a jump from Bournemouth to a Man City? Would a Bournemouth to a Newcastle, would that have been a better move for him? Would a Bournemouth to a Aston Villa, would that have been that next step up that he needs to get to that next big club? But with the way that he is playing in 97 games in the Premier League, 28 goals and 12 assists. Now, you're looking at 40 goal contributions in 97 games. You're almost converting a 1 and 2 where every 2 games you're getting either a goal or an assist. And as a winger, is that good enough to be considered a top 5 winger in the Premier League? I mean, if you're scoring 28 goals, you got 12 assists, and then if you watch his game and you watch how he plays and how he brings other players in, how he brings players out of position, and when he beats them, they're spacing behind. I feel like watching the overall game that he has available for him, that he has at his disposal, would suit any team in Europe. Now, the problem is from a Chelsea perspective, is that the sporting directors, I feel like now are just using this man as PR to show, well, if we really want to go grab this player, we can, but all we're doing is just teasing the fans to the point where it's like, we can tell you guys what players we're interested in, but are we actually going to go after them? Instead of spending, I think it was 110 million on Garnacho and Gittins, you probably could have not have signed the Gittins, signed yourself an Antoine Semenyo, and you don't know where this team would probably be at if they would have signed him in January, because I just don't believe in Jamie Gittins. I believe that when you're not able to break down a League One side where there's going to be more space available, because when Cardiff are at home, league teams like that are at home, they're going to be more aggressive on the front foot because a big team is coming to town, right? And for Jamie Gittins, I didn't see enough in the games that I am watching him in. I'm not seeing enough attacking impotence, and I'm not seeing enough imagination from him. And the confidence just seems to be shot out of him whenever he touches the ball. Not when he's running in behind and he's trying to get onto a pass. It's more or less when he has possession of the ball, it's like he's overthinking what he wants to do instead of just doing it out of instinct. And what a great winger does is he acts out of instinct. He doesn't act off base off of what the defender is doing. A great winger acts off of instinct, acts off of what is he offering me to run into. And me being a winger, me, I used to play that certain position. Now I'm right-footed, but if I was in my younger days, I would have pleaded with my coach to play me on like left-hand side because I feel like I could have scored a lot more goals that way, but I assisted more and I scored goals, which is always great. You want to get your team involved. You want to show that you're a team player and that you're an unselfish character on the pitch. And I believe Antoine Semanyo at the end of the day is an unselfish type of player where if he sees that correct pass, he sees the correct opening and the correct time to shoot, he's going to do that. And in a high possession, high press Manchester City style of football, what Pep Guardiola wants to do, Antoine Semenyo is going to be able to do whatever the hell he wants, whether it's on the right hand side or the left hand side. Um, so with Chelsea pulling out of the race and with them not necessarily looking for a player of his profile, who are we looking at for that kind of price tag and who should we be going after in general, right? There's another player on Bournemouth that I think we should really be going after. Their center back, Sensi, I really believe that he showed what he's capable of, especially against us. But he's Premier League proving, mid 20s, Italian or Argentine international, and it's something that I feel like if we're serious about the continuity and really pushing for a title challenge, you need to get your center backs in order. Now, Levi Colwell, he's out with an ACL injury. Chalaba's still there. Fofana's still there. Badiashila's still there. And for some reason, Tosin is still around. So, do we need to go out into the market and go grab another center back? I don't necessarily think so. I believe that with Anselmino at Dortmund, with Sarr still out there on loan, I don't think we necessarily need to go get a center back, but if there's a center back available for 25 million that is Premier League proven and that will get stuck in, will be a leader in the back, I think that's something that Chelsea do need to go do, and that's something that they should be looking at. I'm getting tired of going after these 17, 18, 19-year-old kids that aren't going to see the first team for 3 or 4 seasons. Unless you're Esteval or somebody of that caliber, you're not going to get into this first team being an 18-year-old, 19-year-old. You're going to have to wait 3 or 4 seasons, see where the team is at then. I'm making the argument that this team needs to bring in experienced players now to balance out the squad because there's too many games this season that we have dropped points because of a lack of experience, mental breakdowns, losing the ball in weird areas, not being clinical like how we weren't clinical in the first half against Newcastle, but in the second half against Newcastle, Reece James and João Pedro showed their class, showed how clinical they can be, show how ruthless they can be, right? And we need players in this squad that are ruthless, that will take the game by the scruff of the neck. You can't have 11 Maverick players in the squad, but you need at least 2 or 3 of those players on the pitch at the same time to where when the game breaks down, they're able to take control of what needs to be taken control of. If the game is slowing down, you need that one guy who can completely break a defense, whether it's with his pace, with his skills, a killer pass in behind, a nice passage of play that can tear apart a defense. We need experienced players in this squad. Now, these players are gaining experience as we get more into be a season as they continue to play together. But I'm asking for players in their late 20s, early 30s to come into this squad and really take the kids under their wing and show them how to close out games, show them how to kill a game off in the first half, show them how to really stall out time when you're up a goal in the 85th minute. These are things that I want this team to really look at rather than going after the next wonder kid. Now, in 5, 6 years, when a lot of these players under the current contract are in their late 20s, early 30s, that's when I want to start seeing, okay, where is the next generation of Chelsea players coming from? Whether it's South America, whether it's Africa, whether it's Asia, whether it's Australia, New Zealand, it does not matter. Our scouting department is elite for a reason because we're going into other regions and looking at where is that next great wonder kid at. But I just want to say that we need to be looking at more experienced players for the first team. And if you want to start plucking out players every 2 or 3 seasons, scout them, see what they're capable of, and see if they're able to get into that Chelsea first team because we have Strasbourg as that as that other club where if we sign a young teenager, they go out to France, compete in Ligue 1, and with the openness of that league, with it really only being a 3 or 4 team league in a sense, where you really only have 3 or 4 teams who can challenge for a league title, Strasbourg is now making an argument that with the players that we are signing and putting them out on loan, now their fans don't like Blue Coat. I don't like them either. I feel like their model is just a joke at the end of the day because being a Chelsea fan, Chelsea is a prestigious, they are winning trophies every so often, right? And we can't continue to sit here and sign these young kids without looking at getting experienced heads in this squad. So, do I truly believe that the Semanyo transfer is going to really put Man City above everyone else? Um, I believe that he has an opportunity to really solidify, sorry, solidify himself as a top 5 winger in the league with going to Man City, but he has to go there and provide the goods at the end of the day. And if he doesn't, it's gonna look like it's 65 million pounds wasted rather than a good investment into a player that we all know on his day will give any fullback in Europe an issue. So with that being said, I mean, congrats to Man City for being able to get his services up to Manchester. I believe he is going to be a lot better, and with the coaching of Pep and the abundance of talent around him, he's only going to get better. And I believe it is time to look at Man City as probably the only team right now that is going to challenge Arsenal for that Premier League title. With Chelsea now being 10 points back, it's more or less the game against Aston Villa on Saturday is going to really tell us how far away Chelsea is from actually being in that top three. Right now, it's 8 points, I believe, or it's what are we on 29 points? I think it's I think it's like 8 or 9 points in between us and Villa. Actually, no, it's not 8 or 9 points. I need to actually look that up real quick. Give me 1 second. Right now, yeah, they are right now 7 points ahead of us. So the game at the weekend is going to be huge to see where we are in terms of being in the top 4 race and being in the title race. Right now, the title race is going to be pushed to the side until we can actually be more consistent in our form and show that we can actually beat these kind of teams because we do play Man City actually next weekend. We do have a lot of games coming up where we can pick up points and get us back into that race. But for right now, the title race is pushed to the side. Antoine Semanyo puts Manchester City for me as favorites to win the league right now over Arsenal, over Aston Villa, over us, and over a Liverpool if they can figure out how to get it going again. But with Isak going out, I'm just surprised that they weren't really pushing hard to get his services through the door because Isak probably won't Isak probably won't see the rest of the season until the World Cup comes around and even then it's like you have a broken leg, man. It's going to take rehab, it's going to take getting your match fitness back. It's going to be the one thing you don't do is you don't lose the skill and the intelligence, you just lose your fitness. And he's going to have to get his fitness back. He's going to have to get his confidence back as well because when you break your leg, there's always some type of hesitancy to want to go back out there and perform the way that you used to perform. So we'll see how Isak is after he fully recovers from his leg break. And I'm not happy. was seeing that he's one of my favorite players in the league when he is fit. So yeah. With that being said, those are my thoughts on the Antoine Semanyo to Manchester City. Looking like it's going to be finalized within the next week or so, with the January transfer window starting on January 1st. I would not be surprised if the first day of the transfer market, this deal goes through and he would probably be available on January 4th for when Chelsea travel up to Manchester to play against Man City. And we'll see what the state of our team is in because we have Villa and we have Bournemouth in between that. And I believe we have Fulham as well in between that as well. So there's three Premier League games in between our 2 or 3 games in between our visit up to Man City. So we'll see what happens then. But with that being said, I'm Jason. This is No Filter Chels. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm going to try to be more frequent on these videos, but obviously, my health will always come first before I do anything like this. So, again, like the video, sub, bell notifications, turn those on, get engaged in the comments. Let me know how you guys feel about him going to Man City. Who do Chelsea sign in January with no actual plans to go get anybody besides loan recalls, possibly? But who do you think Chelsea should go sign just to solidify themselves in the top four and create some distance in between fourth and fifth, and then even sixth? Because the way it's going, it's looking like the Premier League will get 5 teams in the Champions League again. So who does Chelsea sign in January, and what signings would you like to see them actually attempt for and not just gaslight us with? So again, I'm Jason, No Filter Chels. Thank you guys for watching. Links to my other videos will show up. Should have been showing up in this video. I appreciate it. Peace.